The reason why a lot of people in the diaspora are deciding to go back home to Zimbabwe or their home countries is because they're just tired. Now, if you're one of those people that came to the UK, like me in 2001, 2002, or maybe even 2003, you'll find that at first it was very exciting. Yes, you're in the UK, it's a new place, everything is different, everything is working okay. And even the working was okay because we had energy, we were young. But when you approach your 40s, 42, 43, 44, 45, and you start to look ahead and say to yourself, okay, I'm going to be retiring in about, say, 20 odd years. This is where now the reality kicks in. Because do you really want to retire in a country where you're just surrounded by just expensive things, especially the bills? It's incredible. Now, when I moved back to Zimbabwe as a returning resident for about 2 years, I lived there on the ground. It was fantastic. You know, just the feeling of being free. In fact, I even became more lazy because it was really amazing just to be there, eating fresh fruit, talking to people, even in your own language. This is amazing. And nothing beats that. Now, I'll also give you an example. My house is not it's not fully kitted out. It doesn't have a lot of these exciting things. Right now there's even no TV. But as for me, I don't care about the TV or anything. But the fact that you're sleeping in that house, you're waking up without any worries, knowing that this is your house, and you don't see any letters coming through the letterbox, is just amazing. For me, that was transformation because I could not imagine me being in that situation. Now, I'm one of those lucky ones. There's a lot of people in the diaspora right now who have come 2001, 2002, around those ages, and now they're in their 40s looking at retiring. And that view, or even that imagination, is just an impossible to retire back home. You know why? Because chances are they've built a family, and family in the West is very, very expensive, especially if you want the best for them. Secondly, maybe you've got a mortgage. Now, very few, and I'm not saying everyone, very few are able to have a mortgage going on here and also building back home. Chances are that is very, very slim. Only a small fraction of people are able to do that because they have high-paying jobs. So where does that leave the rest of the people? So this is where you find that people now, they just feel so helpless. But they're trying very hard to move back home. Now, I know there's a lot of naysayers out there who say the economy is bad, Zimbabwe is bad, and these roads are bad and everything and so on. But trust me, when you weigh these two things out, you'll realize that when you're back home in Zimbabwe, on the ground, or wherever you are in Africa or in Asia, you will find that there is this peace of mind that you can't even explain. That peace of mind, you only find it when you go there for over a month, not on a holiday, but just to see how things are going on the ground. If you go on holiday, then of course you're going to have a different perspective as to what the country is about, because you're probably going to go to the rural areas. Next time you're in a nice neighborhood, and pretty much that's it. That's your experience. If you live there amongst the people, interact and see how people are making money, how things are working, you'll have a totally different perspective. Now, let me share with you something that is very, very interesting here. Now, I'm on a website here called property.co.zw. Now, just scrolling through these, there's 749 properties, and I'm not going to go all these through with you, but I want you to look at the prices of these houses. Now, this is a 4-bedroom house going for 450,000. And remember, in Zimbabwe, there's no mortgages, okay? This is cash. 450,000. Now, in fact, let's continue on. Okay, this one here is for 450,000. Let's go on. This is Greendale North, and this one here is 350,000. You see that? This one here is 1 million, 1.7 million. This one here is 370,000, Groombridge, and it just continues on, 600,000. So, if you're coming from the diaspora and you want to live in these nice upscale neighborhoods, Harare North, chances are you won't be able to afford to buy these houses cash. Now, that's a bit of a stretch. Let's take a look at some of these properties in neighborhoods which are not as expensive. Okay, so over here, I've just put Harare West. just to see what we have 997 properties. And here, this is Madokero, 125,000 cash. Okay. We move on. This one here is Rainham, 72,000. And like I said, these prices are cash. So in retirement, how are you going to pay for properties like this? Chances are you're going to sell your house that you've fully paid for mortgage and then buy a house in Zim. But do you really want to do that? Maybe not. Now, some of you have 2, 3, 4, 5 houses on mortgage. I get it. Right now, I'm addressing people that are not in that bracket. So please, just understand that. I'm not telling everyone that this is the situation with everyone. No, there are people who can't really afford this. And this is not me bringing them down or anything. No, this is just the reality. So let's say you decide you want to buy a car. Okay, you want to buy a car in Zim. Again, look at these prices. Okay, this one here is new anyway, 2024, 33,000. Okay, here's a Volvo. Okay, this is quite an old car, but look at the price. This is 2020, 48,000. Okay, let's move on. This one here, 19,000. This Toyota Hilux, 25,000. Okay, let's carry on. Okay, look at this one here. NP 300, quite decent, 17,000. Now, if you continue on here, you'll start to see now these older cars, 2005 is going for 6.5. Now, some of these cars are so beat up, it is crazy. I mean, let's try and see another page here so you can see for yourself. There are these cars that are so beat up, these Honda Fits, which are so old, and it's impossible to look at them and say, how the hell is this car 6,000? But those are the prices. So things are expensive in Zimbabwe. So those of you who in the bracket of saying, oh, the economy is bad, the economy is bad, the economy is bad. Now, if you've done basic business, right, why would anyone sell bread, for example, for $6 if majority of people are earning $1 a month? That's impossible. Supply and demand. So explain to me how these prices, even me, when I was on the ground because my Discovery broke down, and I thought to myself, you know what, I think I need to just buy a new car. It was so difficult to get a car, a decent car, under 8,000. Under 8,000. You just have to buy a beat up car, perhaps maybe replace the engine, replace the shocks, get it all painted, get the interior done. It's almost impossible to get a decent car for that price. So where am I going with this? Basically, what I'm saying is Zimbabwe is not as bad as you think it is. When it comes to business, people are earning money in Zimbabwe. This is why they're able to afford some of these things. Now, I'm not saying every single person can have an amazing lifestyle. No, I'm not saying that. But if you are willing to work hard, you can definitely make it, because there is a market. Now, for those of you that don't believe in selling things, remember, there is 3 billion in remittances that goes into Zimbabwe. That's the money that is buying food and services. So if you're part of that, definitely you're going to be making a lot of money and you can earn a living out of that. So where am I going with this? There are areas like Sunway City, Madokero, Arlington, Aspindale. All these areas are new. If you haven't been to Zimbabwe, let's say for 10 years, you will be shocked right at the airport there as you're coming into the city. There's a new gated community called Arlington. Beautiful place. That wasn't there a couple of years ago, but now it's fully developed. It's amazing. And so many other areas. So people are developing in Zimbabwe. People are moving back home to Zimbabwe, those that can manage to do it. The other thing as well is, you see, when you go back home, there's peace of mind. That peace of mind is, I can't describe it. I remember one time I went to the village and just the air, just smelling the air was amazing. No stress, no worries, no bills, no fear of, oh, this person's going to steal from me. None of that. And sometimes a lot of the people that are earning to go to back home is what they want. They just want to distress. and just relax. Now, can we make this life amazing while we're back home? Absolutely, even in the village. How? We are living in a world now where things have moved us dramatically in terms of technology. You can have an off-grid solar system now, something that was unheard of 20 years ago, something that could not be affordable 20 years ago. But now it's off the shelf. You can buy it. You can even buy it off online. Imagine, you can be in the village and have internet. This is how things have changed. So for those naysayers who keep saying, I'll never go back to Zimbabwe, blah, blah, blah. You know what? Stop discouraging others that really want to go back home and retire. Because I've been there. I've been on the ground. And it is amazing. It is amazing. Let's talk about another thing. You know, when we talk about health, yes, back home, a lot of people are healthy. Believe it or not. You know why? Because they eat natural food. Even me, I don't consider myself healthy. If I look at some of the guys who are working at the farm or the guys who are building and all of that, these guys are healthy and strong. I tried to mix cement in a wheelbarrow for 10 minutes. I was sweating. I'm not as fit as those guys. And you know what? They eat proper food. Proper food. But in the West, we have cardiovascular diseases. We have so many issues. Some of these issues are due to stress, lack of sleep. You know, over there is different. Of course, there's extremes. If you are involved, let's say in an accident in a highway or somewhere, the ambulance ain't going to be there for you that quick. And there's not going to be a helicopter to airlift you. Yes, I know you can argue with that, but is that the reason for you to want to retire alone in the UK? I don't think so. Me, personally, I could not dream or imagine being in a home, in a care home in England. No. Do you know why? Because there isn't a sense of community here. Now, I'm sure some of you remember when my young brother's kids died. It was a tragic situation when I was in Zimbabwe. When they passed away, I remember I was at my mom's place. The amount of people that came just to help and support was incredible. It was unbelievable. Now let's compare that to dying, let's say, in England. Is that the same experience? No. It's not that big. People are not together. It's that people are busy. You know, you can have a friend, you can have a cousin, you can have a relative living so close to you, yet you can spend months and months, sometimes even years without seeing each other because all your shift patterns are all clashing. That is possible. But in Zimbabwe, it's different. Back home, it's different. So why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because we are now living in a time where we can still make that difference. We can make that change. We can go back to our country and retire there in a very nice, comfortable way. Well, how can we do that? Okay, imagine people in the diaspora, we come together, put our monies together, buy land and start building it slowly, slowly. Even if it takes us the next 5 years, even if it takes us the next 7 years, it's okay. Because this is for what? Our retirement. And this could also be an opportunity for passive income. And this is why I'm really pushing this idea of working together as diasporans to build something back home. And why am I saying this? Well, we're encouraged to invest back home, aren't we? We see articles in the newspaper. We see it's all invest, 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 invest. Why should we not take this opportunity? So this is why I'm driving this initiative to invest back home. I'm really excited about this. I know there are naysayers, and there will always be people that want to snatch that dream away. But trust me, if you're one of those people that can't afford to just buy a house outright back home in Zimbabwe, I'm pretty sure that if we were to sit down, put our minds together, and start working towards investing back home, you buy ourselves a gated community, we start building it up slowly. In 5 years' time, we could have our dream retirement house in a community of people who are like-minded. So, this is something to think about. I was surprised when I was in Zimbabwe in my neighborhood. There's fiber to the house. Now, I'm a tech guy, in England here, I don't have fiber to the house. But in Zimbabwe, it's there. Liquid Telecom is providing it. Tel1 is providing it. Fiber optic. And now there's Starlink. Now, if you save a bit of money and, put your money towards these two things, and also have your solar system and a decent supply of water, what else can you ask for? So this is something I'm really passionate about. Maybe I'm just overboard because I overly love my country, but trust me, this can be something to look forward to in the next few years. Now, I will be making announcements on the investment initiative. Right now, I've got people looking for land. I'm also registering companies and getting some advice on all sorts of areas. So keep an eye on this channel and I will be updating you very, very soon. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching and I'll see you again very soon. Take care.